Pale Coins is an open-world fantasy RPG that describes itself as old school, and certainly takes inspiration from classic RPGs. Set in Grenmark, you create a class and set off to obtain the titular Pale Coins, exploring a world where you get to fight enemies, loot dungeons and face off against bosses. I have seen people on Steam compare this game to Gothic, and I think the comparisons are apt, but perhaps not for the reasons you might expect. From my first few hours with Pale Coins, I think it's a well-made game. It has some quality environmental design and impeccable vibes due to its environments and complementary soundtrack. The levelling and the equipment system are as you would expect. You start off weak, and the game does an excellent job of making you feel more powerful as you go. However, it is also a bit janky, most noticeably in terms of the combat. The Steam page mentions that the game has Souls-like elements, and I don't really see it, outside of a dodge and it being difficult at times. Perhaps there was a desire to create 2D Souls-like combat, but ultimately the systems that developer Lucas Earsel has created are not quite up to it. The dodge moves you backwards, so it's awkward to use in fights. Movement is fairly slow outside of that, and it can be quite difficult to avoid enemy attacks. On top of that, the AI isn't brilliant, so I often found myself using the environment to my advantage, getting enemies stuck in choke points and on corners, or playing Ring a Ring of Roses around a central pillar. Having said all that, I am really enjoying Pale Coins, which is where we come back to the Gothic comparison. That game had its issues, but despite that, players were able to work around them, and to a degree, some of the enjoyment came from devising your own ways of dealing with the issues the game had, and I have similar feelings about Pale Coins. This game isn't anywhere near as buggy as Gothic though. It is a solid, well-made game, at least so far. Despite the combat issues, I enjoyed learning the fighting patterns of enemies and bosses, learning attack patterns and when I can go in to pay attacks. Exploration is fun, as is the random loot system, which, because of the harshness of the game, makes an upgrade feel substantial. And I do like that it borrows the Dark Souls scaling system, with weapons having dex, strength or magic scaling. Pale Coins is an interesting game. In some respects, it provides a fairly standard RPG experience, and it has its issues, but in spite of this, I found myself really enjoying playing it. The vibes are great, and there is a real sense of progress as you grow stronger. Sure, it has its rough edges, but in many ways, that makes it all the more enjoyable to play.